We're at CoreXcellence today with Coach Rich Saul. We're going to go through a hockey warm-up that a lot of our hockey players have been asking us to put together, just something quick and efficient that they can get going right before the game. So as always, we get them to start with foam rolling. We're going to get down, we're going to get into the glutes. Of course, that's an area that gets taxed quite a bit. You're going to roll a few times on each side. We suggest at least 5 times on each side. If you feel something that's in there that needs to be worked on a bit more, then go ahead and do so. Rich is just going to do a couple of times each side just to get the movement pattern down so you guys can understand. He's going to move to his hip flexors. Again, like we said, we're just going to do a couple of times here today. On your own, you do at least 5 times each side. After the hip flexors, he's going to go into the groin area. The adductors are again another area that's taxed quite a bit and strained quite a bit for the hockey players. From there, we're going to move to the thoracic spine. We're going to go back and forth a few times over the T-spine, and then we're going to do some mobility stretches. Notice he's cueing, putting his hands up on his head, forehead, keeping the elbows in just to protect the spine. From there, he's going to go over into the lats, just rolling right over into his side, getting into the lats and the upper shoulder area. Again, I repeat, we just do a couple of times on each side. We suggest you do at least 5 times each side unless you feel something that needs to be worked on a bit more. So after we foam roll, we're going to go into the stretches. We're going to start with a wall stretch for the glutes. So return to get nice and close up on the wall. Get the hips up close to the wall. Cross the leg as we raise up, and then we're going to sit down into it. Rich is doing a little bit more dynamic there today. Instead of holding a static stretch for 30 seconds or 20 to 30 seconds, he's just sinking down into the stretch and coming right back up again. Again, he's just doing a couple times on each side. Give it 5 times on each side just to make sure you really feel it deep in the glutes. We're always trying to keep the hips straight. Make sure we sink right down into it. From the glutes, we're going to go into the half kneeling hip flexor stretch. Staying nice and tall, abdominals drawn in, or at least braced. We don't have to flatten out to something, but just brace the abdominals and push the hip forward. Again, staying tall, brace abdominals. Notice how he's rocking the hips a little forward. And if you want to take this stretch a little bit further, you can reach around and grab that back leg. Again, pushing the hips forward, keeping the abdominals cued, nice and braced. From here, Rich is going to go into the half kneeling groin stretch. So notice again how he's rocking back, coming back up, sitting back. Notice his right foot facing right towards us, sitting into the stretch. A couple times each side. Sit the hips back, sit the hips back. From here, we're going to lie on our back and do a hip internal rotation stretch, Feet nice and flat, and just let the knees sink in and towards each other. There you go. So after finish doing these stretches, we're going to get into a little dynamic warm-up. Rich is going to get down on his hands and knees. Go into a quadruple T-spine, so a thoracic spine rotation extension. There we go, dipping down and opening up, down and opening up. Always keeping the supporting arm nice and straight. From here, he's going to get down on his forearms. We're going to go into scapular push-ups. We'll do it a beginner or slightly beginner version. We'll stay on our forearms. So he's just collapsing between the shoulder blades and squeezing back up. So collapse and then open up the scaps just to get some mobility up in that thoracic area again. From here he'll go to hand walks. So because we have limited space, considering in the dressing room or out in the hallway, so he'll do one where he's walking up back with the hands, then he's walking to walk the hands back out. And now walk the feet up. There we go. From there we're going to go into a hip flexor stretch and dynamic warm-up, so alternating forward lunges with a same side twist. Notice how he's twisting and coming back. On the back swing, he's pulling back up, pushing off that front leg. Always staying nice and tall. Feel a stretch down from the hip flexors all the way up into the abdominal area. From there, we're going to take our pseudo hockey stick and we're going to do an offset backswing. So a staggered step. Again, abdominals brace, reaching back. There we go. Again, getting a little T-spine rotation. Hip flexor stretch. It's a double whammy. Get those glutes fired up. We're going to go into a lateral lunge. And sitting back into the glutes. So again, he's going to show you a few times each side, making sure that in this case right here, he's pushing off that left leg, exploding out, not using the right leg to pull up, but really pushing off that outside leg. Finish off with some light plyos. We'll just do 5 jump squats. Down, absorb and push, absorb and push, absorb and push, absorb and push. There we go. Land nice and solid. So that was a quick and easy hockey warm-up. Thanks, Coach Rich. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.